And Mr. Joe, could you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the Planning and Zoning Board. It's an advisory board. This is actually the LPZA, but same thing, but different. To which makes recommendations to the county commissioners who will make the final decision on all these items. Item H1 on today's agenda will be heard by the county commission on March 4th. Items H2 and H3 will need to be tabled to March 8th to the P&Z meeting. Item H4 will be heard by the county commission on March 24th. And when a motion ends in any kind of split vote, a roll call vote may be taken to ensure accuracy. As a reminder, each member who makes a motion or a second needs to turn on their microphone so that your voices can be on record. At this time, if any board member has had any ex parte communication regarding any application, please disclose so now. All right. Can I get a motion for approval of the P&Z minute meeting or LPZA from February?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes from October 19, 2020.
Okay, a motion by Pete, a second by Joe. And Mr. Pete, we had a vote about the chair and vice chair, and we want to be sure you accept your nomination.
I do, with honor. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Do we need to vote on the minutes?
I'm sorry?
Do we need to vote now for everybody on the minutes?
Yes.
Okay. We just took a second.
Right.
That's it. Okay. Before we get there.
We had a motion and a second on the meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, item H1.
Item H1, Health First, Inc. requests adoption of the 2020-1.1 large-scale comprehensive plan amendment to permit a countywide increase in floor area ratio from community commercial designated sites from 1 to 1.75 within the PUD zoning classification. This case number is 20 PZ 00069.
Okay, thank you. And Kim, you're already here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairman Wadsworth, members of the LPA. I'm here representing Health First, Kim Rosanka with Lacey Lyons and Rosanka in Rockledge, Florida. Here with me also is Mark Meeks. He's the Director of Construction for Health First, and Ken Good with Adkins. He's the Project Manager for the Wellness Village in Merritt Island for Health First. This is the second time you've heard this. These are documents you saw last time. I was before you on August 24th, where you all passed unanimously the the comp plan amendment. And then on September 3rd, the County Commission approved it unanimously 4-0 with Commissioner Zonka recusing herself. This is very simple. This is just to change the building square footage and the floor area ratio in a PUD. The comp plan amendment has been the same for a very long time. The change of this will allow FAR from 1.0 to 1.75. and will allow an increase in square footage if it's in a PUD. As you'll recall, a PUD comes with a PDP, a plan development, preliminary development plan, which is like a site plan. So everyone gets to see what's planned and what the square footage will be before they approve the PUD. So what I gave you, you also saw last time, is just a rendering of what might be in Merritt Island. They're still in design. We do have a PUD application pending, but this is just to give you an idea of what could go on a redevelopment site with more square footage and more FAR than the comp plan currently provides. And then what I also provided to you was something that was before you back in August as well. This was actually prepared by your staff, and it's what other communities do to show that we really are behind in the county, especially for PUDs and redevelopment, as to the size of redevelopment projects that there can be. This is a county-wide change to the comp plan. This is not just specific to this site. There are many, many other properties that could benefit in the county for this comp plan amendment. The staff report says that this appears to be comparable with other local cities, and I would ask that you approve this comp plan amendment, recommend for adoption to the county commission. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody in the audience would like to speak for or against this item? Okay, seeing that, I bring it back to the board. Anybody have any questions for her or a motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
question for staff. It looks to me like this essentially increases the building height that would be allowed on a piece of property by increasing the FAR.
I don't think,
Is
I don't
there-
think it's increasing the building height within the zoning category. Jeff, are you going to speak to it?
So the FAR does not allow for the increase in height that is always limited by the zoning district. Since this is a PUD, there are certain requirements that they have to meet with that. When the applicant brings a PUD, you'll be able to review that as well. The FAR increases with the 0.75 would equate to roughly around an additional 30,000 square feet per acre additional. So it's just the amount of square footage that they're allowed. Doesn't allow them to go up per se.
But doesn't it actually allow a developer to put a bigger building on a height?
Yes, it does. It does. It allows for a bigger building, not necessarily to go up.
That was just my point.
Yeah.
And then my other question related to that was, what is the limit on building height in a PUD? I forgot to look that up.
That's a zoning question.
Yeah, that's a zoning question. We can address that when the applicant brings the PUD back before you all.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I remember when this came up previously, and I believe the intent is to kind of encourage, not really encourage, but, you know, if you got a FAR area ratio of greater than 1, which means your building would be bigger than your site. So it kind of encourages you to go to multiple floors to get as much building as you can, of course, within the limits of the required height. But it also allows you in the PUD to put your building maybe taller and then preserve, you know, some of the amenities of the site, whether it be trees or whatever, you know, or all these sites. It encourages you for more preservation and encouraging you to go up instead of out. So, you know, it gets you a density. I thought that what they were asking for wasn't enough, because I see most of these floor area ratios much higher than 1.75 and something like this, but I have no problem with the 1.75 they're asking for. I think it should be more, but I'm for this request.
Anyone else?
I'll make a motion that we approve item H1 as requested.
I'll second it.
A motion by Mr. Moyer, a second by Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed unanimously. So items H2 and 3 are going to be tabled, correct?
They need to be tabled since they were not heard at the last Port St. John meeting due to a quorum, or not having a quorum.
Okay.
So the recommendation would be to table it to the March 3rd Port St. John Dependent Special District meeting. And
So
that's
you
a
need a
special
motion?
that's a special meeting that we've advertised for the applicant.
Okay. So you need a
also
motion
needs
to
to be
table?
tabled
Yeah.
to March 8th, your
Motion
March
to table.
8th P and Z meeting.
motion to table both items to March 8th?
We can just go. one
Yeah,
at a time.
I'm sorry, I got my wires crossed. So this, the Port St. John meeting will be on the 3rd. That would bring it back to you guys on March 8th. So yes, you would need to table it to March 8th, which is your next meeting for PZ.
Okay. I'll make that motion to table to March 8th.
I will second.
Are we gonna need two motions for, or a motion for each item?
I would do that since they are separate
Yes,
items.
okay, this is item, that would this motion would be
H2.
for H2.
Yes, sir.
Got a motion by Bruce, a second by Pete. All those in favor to table till March 8th, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed unanimously. Now, item H3.
Make a motion to table item H3 to March 8th.
I'll second that as well.
Another motion for H3 by Bruce, a second by Pete to table till March 8th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed unanimously. Now, item H4.
Mike.
All right,
New guy.
there it is. All right, item H4. So this is pertaining to the public hearing for the extension of the temporary moratorium and new applications of biosolids within the county. This will be before the board on March 9th. There's no change in the ordinance language or the requirements. It's merely an extension under the existing the current state rules since we were grandfathered in.
Okay. Anybody in the audience would like to speak for or against this item? Seeing that, I bring it back to the board.
How-
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
I had
sir.
a question again for staff, or if they know. Why hasn't the moratorium been made permanent yet? Is there some delay? And because it seems to me that the commission was aiming towards that.
Right, so the new biosolids rules have to be ratified by the legislature. They've already approved a portion of the rules, which the DEP is moving forward with, but another portion cannot be before the legislature until it goes through the Environmental Regulations Commission, and all meetings have been canceled since the start of the COVID. So as of today, they have not rescheduled that commission.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Staff, I have a question. When this came before us before, there were no companies or people indirectly being harmed by this moratorium. Is that still the case, or are there companies or landowners that are complaining that they want the ability to do this?
We have not had any requests. There is, at this moment, one landowner that I've been in contact with who has expressed that he is no longer spreading biosolids on the county properties that he owns, just because of the study that we did showed that he did not need any more.
And that was the only one?
Right, and this moratorium is only moratorium against new permits, new applications that would go before the DEP, and there haven't been any that have been filed to my knowledge.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, I'll make a motion to approve item H4, extending the moratorium for new applications on biosolids and lands within Brevard County.
I'll second that.
Got a motion by Pete, a second by Brian. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed unanimously.
Did Brian second that one? Brian, did you beat me to that?
No.
He said Brian. He said Bruce. That should be Bruce, not Brian. I was the second, not
Oh.
Brian.
Meeting adjourned.
The opinions expressed by any member of the public during any period of public comment do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, or the program sponsor, and are solely those of the presenter. The Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, and the program sponsor hereby expressly disclaim any and all responsibility or liability for any defamatory or slanderous statements expressed by any member of the public during any such period.